What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Tropic Thunder, which is a movie that many of you probably have seen and probably enjoy. It's a very popular comedy film. It's been out for a very long time, which is why I don't really understand why this is a story, and it's a movie that just because of this entire thing blowing up, I felt the need to go and buy this movie again yesterday. I actually ended up buying, I've never personally owned this movie, right? This has been a movie that I saw when I was a kid. My family had it and everything, but now I actually own it because this whole thing happened. So in a way, I'm kind of grateful that it did because it kind of, reunited me with such a good movie. But if you don't know what it is a comedy/action film that came out in the year 2008 featuring Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr. But apparently this is a movie that is now being seen again for the first time. A bunch of people are starting to rediscover the movie, and in particular, Robert Downey Jr.'s character in the film, and they have an issue with it, which is kind of weird because, like I said, this movie came out in 2008, so this has been something that's been sitting on everyone's minds for well over a fucking decade now before anybody was really upset about this. I mean, I was only about 8 years old when this movie came out, but I don't remember people being upset about this when this happened. I don't remember this being a fucking uproar or anything in the streets. People just losing their shit because this happened. I mean...
Have you seen Tropic Thunder?
That Tropic Thunder character is a fucking
I'm British
travesty.
and I don't like this.
Times have changed, there's a lot more stuff you can't get away with now, and a lot more offensive stuff, which is something that Robert Downey Jr. has addressed about his character. He could not have gotten away with it today. But I don't really think this is a very big issue, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain this to everybody here. So like I said, new people are starting to discover the movie or discovering the characters and things like that, and they're getting offended about this. They're getting offended because, if you don't know, Robert Downey Jr. plays a black man in the film. Or, well, in reality, he doesn't actually play a black man. He plays a white man who is portraying a black man. So you're already starting to kind of see the issues that are getting brought up here. I don't think it takes a fucking rocket scientist to understand what the big deal is for some people here, but it all really got brought right back up to my attention when a tweet came around yesterday on the timeline. Woke teenagers discovering Tropic Thunder is my favorite tweet genre, and I was immediately like, oh Christ, here we go again. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of these tweets and talk about them, man, because it's gotta be gold, right? There's gotta be some comedy gold hidden in here somewhere with people figuring all this shit out for the first time again. If you guys are under the age of 14 and you're offended very easily, please click off this video because what you're about to see might shock you and might upset you a little bit because obviously, but I can't imagine any of these people have seen the movie, considering several facts here, but let's go ahead and dive into it. So, wait a damn minute. So you're telling me Robert Downey Jr., the Robert Downey Jr., has done blackface and defended it as part of the quote context of the movie? Puking emoji 3 times. Yes, Marija, he has quote-unquote done blackface and defended as part of the context of the movie. Because in the movie, he's portraying a white guy who takes the role way too far. Like, the whole character itself is actually kind of like a big joke about how white people get portrayed to do people of colors and stuff like that as characters in films. So in reality, the whole point of the character is to mock the exact reason that people think that this is a big deal. But none of them have guaranteed ever seen the movie, so they don't actually understand that, because to anyone who's ever seen the movie, like, it's clear as day. It's not like it's some subtle little hidden message. I mean, they make it very clear that this is a character playing like a method actor, and it's being taken too far. It's not something, it's not like the character itself is black or anything like that. So yeah, he did defend it as part of the context of the movie because, I mean, the character itself provides a huge part of the whole story behind the movie. It's one of the main fucking characters, right? And the character itself actually makes a point that, in reality, people who are so offended about this and don't realize what's going on should actually think is a good thing for it being said, because it's kind of something that would technically be on their side in a way. Except most of them don't understand a joke and refuse to actually watch the thing that they're offended about to see if maybe it would provide any context behind anything, so I guess it's not really on their side. But wait. Why did Robert Downey Jr. get a pass for doing blackface in a full-length feature film? And why am I just now finding out about it? Hashtag cancel Robert Downey Jr. Now, something I want to include here, and this isn't to say that, like, other people can't speak out on racial issues if they're not a part of that group or anything, but Tay here is white, right? Okay, she is a white person. And she has taken it upon herself to essentially speak up for a different group of people, which is fine in most instances, right? I think we can all agree, like, given the real good reason behind it, yeah, you can do that, right? You can speak up for people, but she's not doing it because she sees a legitimate issue behind what's happening here, and I can prove this. She's doing it because she wants to look like she cares, okay? Tay only gives a fuck about this because she thinks if she tweets out something like this, hashtag cancel RDJ, people will think that she is a good person. People will be on her side. Good job, Tay, you're standing up for other people. And in reality, that's like 97% of this trend, because I haven't seen a single person throughout all of this yet who was actually not white, who was upset, who had a big issue with this, which, if the character was offensive, you would think that, like, the people who were being mocked would actually have stood up and, like, been upset about it. You'd think that African Americans would be standing up just pissed, but they're not. I wonder why. Just a little observation here. Now, here we got Matthew, our buddy Matthew. Wait, so what the fuck? Robert Downey Jr. did blackface? Sorry, what? He didn't do blackface. Once again, I don't know why this has to be explained over and over again. He played a character who essentially did blackface. That's not really the same thing. I hate the way that people like this talk too. Like, it's such a fucking, like, 13-year-old way of talking, where it's, like, so passive-aggressive. There's weird enunciations put on the sentence where it doesn't belong. They just talk like they're stupid all the time. It's like the typical SJW speak, you know what I mean? But I can't find an apology either. WTF. This might be the funniest part of the entire... This might be funnier than the character itself, right? Matthew here is so used to whenever he feels offended, whenever he is with a group of people who feel offended, he is so used to people with no spines cowering to them and them being way louder and, like, yelling over people and demanding them to apologize. He was honestly surprised that someone did not fucking apologize for a character that isn't even offensive in the first place. Matthew is so used to everyone catering to his fucking feelings that the moment that somebody does not do what he expects, he's just surprised. He's stunned. I can't find the apology. There's no way he would have never have apologized for this. I mean, how I feel is what really matters to everybody, and, you know, I can't be the only one out there who feels like this. How can't he have not seen that he needs to apologize? Imagine your entire life is so dedicated to witch hunting on the internet and demanding people to apologize to you so you can have, like, a power trip, that it honestly is out of left field when somebody doesn't fucking cater to your demands. It couldn't be me, man. But one of them has actually replied to this whole thing, the Marija, I think is how you say the name. I love RDJ and I'm a big fan of his work. The image popped up on Google and naturally, I was disgusted. But I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions and immediately posted it on Twitter, and I apologize for that. Well, it's a good thing that you've learned, okay? I watched the film and questioned whether I should take the tweet down, and although I never did, don't know why. I don't know why you didn't either. Having the context of the character in mind and what the character is essentially a metaphor for, I deeply regret the accusations I made. It was not in my place. Okay, so you knew that you were essentially accusing somebody of something very serious, might I add. I mean, that's something that in the year 2020, right? Like, that could be fucking career-ending. It's very serious. It's not something to joke around about. And you've always known that you've had this tweet up, and you apparently went back and watched the movie, which for some reason I don't believe. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's maybe your lack of action or what it is, but I simply don't believe it. You left the tweet up anyway, knowing that it was incorrect. You were accusing somebody of something very serious, and it just made you look fucking stupid. But what I don't understand in the first place, because my mentality is like, I want to get to the bottom of everything, right? Like, I want to learn as much as I can about a subject before I just go spouting off about it, you know? And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've never been wrong before in my life or made a big mistake, but there is no instance in which I would just be going through Google and see a picture of Robert Downey Jr. portraying himself as an African American as a character, right? And just not want to look any deeper into it, not even try and fucking realize what could be at the bottom of the leprechaun's pot on the other end of the rainbow. Just, you know, dive right off with this assumption here, basically, and just go out and make a tweet. I would never do something like that. I would never see a picture and just be like, well, this is bare minimum. This is like the last thing that could happen in this entire saga. There's no other information for me to consider about this. So the reason that I say that people who are actually upset about this could never have seen the movie is because the character itself is a very obvious joke about how, white people get casted as, people of color for certain situations, and actors and stuff will take these roles. I think that this whole thing just speaks to this kind of like cancel culture SJW bullshit where they didn't even try and look any deeper into it. And this is all information that's just openly available on Google. You can talk to someone who's seen the movie. A lot of people have. I mean, come on now. But no, there were so many people who openly came out against this movie without even knowing the context of the character that people defending it ended up trending the words Tropic Thunder on Twitter. Simply because it's almost become the internet's job to refute the stupid shit that other idiots on the internet end up spewing. I just think that that's odd that a 12-year-old movie came back up randomly and Twitter had to defend this movie so vehemently that it trended because people can't even look up a YouTube clip of the movie. I mean, you don't even have to, I would say, sit down and watch the whole movie, whatever. But at least look something up, right? And try and figure something about it out, right? Don't just fucking go and immediately just start saying something ignorant. I just find it funny that we have people on Twitter getting offended on behalf of other people, which, whatever, you want to get offended about something, if it actually makes sense, go ahead, right? In order to make themselves look better, in order to make it look like they actually care about issues in the world. When all it came down to is how many people will agree with me on Twitter and give me likes and give me attention and validate what I'm saying. So with that being said, go watch Tropic Thunder. It's a great movie. It's very enjoyable. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel. Follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below, lots of fresh official Optimus merch down there. Thank you to my channel members, your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video guys, this is Optimus, mad at a 12-year-old movie, and signing out.